Hi everyone, it's Veronica from Blue Star Crochet. Welcome to another tutorial on my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making this beautiful lace crochet t-shirt. This is Ruby. The lace t-shirt that we're going to be making during this video. I'm going to be using some 5mm crochet hook and this beautiful yarn from Hobby, which is a rainbow bamboo. But Ruby is a lace crochet t-shirt that consists of just two panels. We're going to be making a front panel that's going to have a little bit more shaping around the neckline, as you can see. And the back panel, they're both just T-shaped panels, the front and the back, and then we're going to attach them together at the end, and that's going to create our Ruby lace t-shirt, as you can see. So there is not much seaming, not much kind of tricky shaping or anything like that. We have got this beautiful simple neckline at the front that has been strengthened. We've got beautiful flat slip stitch shoulder joints here. So it's a really easy project. If you have created a couple of projects before, this is going to be a perfect step up from any beginner crocheter, or if you've experienced as well, this is a great project for summer. Really easy, 2 rows repeat for the stitches, and as I said, just 2 T-shaped pieces to create our t-shirt. So let's go and see what materials we will need for this project, and let's get on with the video. And here are some of the materials that we will need for this super cute lace crochet t-shirt. So I'm going to be using the rainbow bamboo from Hobby. So this is 60% bamboo and 40% cotton yarn. I'm also going to be using a 5mm crochet hook. I've got some scissors, I've got some yarn needles, as well as a few stitch markers if you find them helpful to use. And I've got a tape measure to just check our gauge and check that we are on track, creating a t-shirt that's going to fit us at the end. So let's start with the tutorial. And here I quickly wanted to show you what shape we're going to be creating for our lacy t-shirt. So this is the back panel, and as you can see, I've already got that finished, and I'm going to walk you through creating the front panel, and that one is just slightly different than the back panel, and there is a little bit more shaping that we're going to do around the neckline. So we're going to start at the bottom here. So this is our bottom. We're going to work in 2 row repeats. We've got the row of these shells and V-stitches with just a row of half double crochet, and once we work up the length, we're gonna get to this point of our armholes, and then as you can see, we are gonna increase on this side to accommodate for the sleeve, as well as increase on the other side to accommodate for the other sleeve, and then we're gonna just work up the height of the sleeves. As you can see, the height for the sleeves are there, and this is our back panel. So it is a t-shirt because it's a t-shaped piece of fabric. So this is the back panel with the top across your shoulders, and then we've got these short little sleeves on either side. The size of the t-shirt is really easily customizable. I will give you the multiple of the stitch pattern, as well as customizing the length of your sleeves. You could increase much further out and make yourself a t-shirt with 3/4 length sleeves, or even turn the t-shirt into a sweater, because you could extend for long sleeves as well. But for this video tutorial, we're going to stick with the classic t-shirt shaped crochet shirt. So we're going to start on the front panel, and as I said, for the back panel, it's going to be exactly the same process, but we're gonna omit the top shaping around the neckline. We're just going to kind of carry on in straight rows all the way until the end of the back panel. So let's go and take a look, and let's start on our front panel. To start our front panel, I'm going to create a slip knot. So I'm going to pop the loop onto my hook, cross over the yarn and grab the tail end, then pull the loop through and pop it onto my hook, tighten it down. Now for my size of the t-shirt I'm making, I'm gonna need to chain 86. So the multiple for the stitch pattern to work is multiples of 8 plus 6. So if you wanted to adjust the total width of your t-shirt, you can chain multiples of 8 and then add another 6 chains on top of it. I have got the written pattern available on my blog, bluestarcrochet.com, as well as in my Etsy and Ravelry shop. So if you wanted to make one of those written out sizes, check out the written pattern. If you are going to adjust the size, it's multiples of 8 plus 6. So for my size I'm going to be making, I need to chain 86, okay? So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, and I'm going to do this 86 times, and then we're going to tackle row 1 together. I have 86 chain stitches there. As you can see, we've got 86. And for row 1, we're going to simply work row of half double crochets, okay? So I've got my chain stitches, and I'm going to work the first half double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook, okay? So 1, 2 and 3. Into the 3rd chain from the hook, I'm going to place half double crochet. So yarn over, insert my hook through the back bump, just creates a neater edge, yarn over, pull through, and then it's yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on my hook. Just to say that the first 2 chain stitches that we skipped count as the first half double crochet. So after you create the second half double crochet, we've already got 2, okay? So the first 2 chain count as a stitch, and all that's left to do is work 1 half double crochet into each chain all the way across to the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and work up 1 half double crochet into each chain across, and I'll meet you back for row number 2. I'm at the end of row 1, where I worked 1 half double crochet into each chain across. To start row 2, I'm gonna turn my work and I'm going to work back across the row. Now this is the stitch pattern, or the alternating shells and V-stitches. So to start row 2, I'm going to start with standing double crochet. So I'm going to extend my loop to the height, place my finger on top of this loop. Now do not let go of this loop at any point. I'm going to twist the hook towards me. Now I've got 2 loops on my hook, if you can see. Now I'm going to insert my hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull through while still holding on to that first loop. And as you can see, I've got 3 loops on my hook. Now yarn over, pull through 2 like this, and yarn over, pull through 2, okay? And that's our first standing double crochet. Then I'm going to skip the next stitch, and into the next stitch I'm going to work 1 V-stitch. So that's double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to work another double crochet into the very same stitch. So that's yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's my first V-stitch after we work the standing double crochet. That's my first V-stitch. I'm going to skip the next 3 stitches, and into the next stitch I'm going to place 5 double crochets, okay? So that's the shell. So first double crochet into that stitch, then I'm going to place the second one, third, fourth and fifth, okay, like this. So we've got the standing double crochet, V-stitch, and now the shell. And again, I'm going to skip the 3 stitches, and into the next stitch I'm going to place a V-stitch. So that's double crochet, chain 1, and another double crochet into the same stitch. Now again, skip 3 stitches, and into the next one we're going to place the shell. So 5 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And again, I'm gonna skip the next 3 stitches, and into the next one it's the V stitch. So that's double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. Okay, and that is basically gonna be the repeat all the way across. So we're gonna skip 3 stitches, work a shell, skip 3 stitches, work a V stitch, and so on until we get to the last 3 stitches. So I'm going to work all the way across the row, alternating a shell and a V stitch with skipping 3 stitches in between, and then I'll meet you back at the end of the row. As you can see, I worked all the way across the row, and now I've got these last 6 stitches left. So what I'm going to do, you should finish the repeat with a shell. So again, I'm going to skip the 3 stitches and work a V stitch into the next one like this. So it's double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. And now that leaves me 2 stitches because you've got 1 stitch left, and then we've got the 2 chain at the beginning here, which counts as the stitch. So I'm going to skip the next stitch and work 1 standalone double crochet into the top of that beginning 2 chain as not to miss the stitch. Okay, so we basically mirrored the beginning of the row where we got double crochet and a V stitch, then did the repeat all the way across, and then we finished the row again on a V stitch and a double crochet. To start on row 3, again I'm gonna turn my work like this, and we're going to work back down across the row. And row number 3 is just going to be a half double crochet into each stitch and each chain across. So after row 3 we should have exactly the same amount of half double crochets as on row 1. So to start the first one, I'm going to chain 1. Now this chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so yarn over, insert into the first stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Then we've got the V stitch in front of us, so I'm going to work half double crochet into the next double crochet. Then we've got the 1 chain space that we created in the V stitch, so I'm going to place half double crochet into that 1 chain space. And then we've got the second double crochet of the V stitch like this. Now we've got this 5 double crochet shell, so again 1 half double crochet into each double crochet of this shell, and that brings us onto the V stitch again. And as I said, it's gonna be half double crochet into the double crochet. Then we've got the 1 chain space in the middle, so half double crochet into that one, and half double crochet into the other double crochet of the V stitch. Okay, so as I said, simply work 1 half double crochet into each double crochet and the 1 chain space of the V stitch, and we're going to work all the way across the row, and we're going to finish working our last half double crochet into the top of that standing double crochet from row below. So go ahead and finish your row and I'll meet you back. I am at the end of row 3. As you can see, I worked 1 half double crochet all the way across, and just to check, you should have 85 stitches or 85 half double crochets, same as on row 1. And now it's basically working up the length of the front panel until we get to the armholes. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going, alternating row 2 with the shell and the V stitch, and row 3, which is just a plain row of half double crochet stitches. I'm gonna alternate these 2 rows until I work up 30 rows in total, or please refer to the written pattern for your chosen size as to how many rows you need to do. or you can just keep alternating row 2 and row 3 until you reach your desired length of your t-shirt from the armholes down to your waist, to your hips, or however long you want your t-shirt to be. And I'll meet you back when it's time to extend up here for the sleeves, and I'm gonna guide you through that step of the process. As you can see, I have now reached my desired length, so I have repeated the stitch pattern for 30 rows. You can adjust the length to suit you, or if you're following the written pattern, please look up how many rows you need. But the main thing is, if you're adjusting the length, you need to finish the last row on the shell row. So on row 2, repeat. Because on the half double crochet row, we're now going to extend on both sides into the T shape, which is going to accommodate for the sleeves. So I'm going to turn my work around now, and we are going to extend our working row on both sides to now do the sleeves. Okay, so I turn my work, and now as you can see, I'm ready to work just a half double crochet row. But before I start working across the main row, I need to now extend on this side to accommodate for the first sleeve. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chain 17. If you wanted to adjust the length of your sleeves, you can chain multiples of 8 plus 1. In my case, I'm going to chain 17. There we go, 17. So this is the first extended chain for the first sleeve. And now to work across, we're gonna start working into the third chain from the hook again. So 1, 2, into the third chain, I'm gonna place 1 half double crochet. Again, I'm gonna go and work through the back bumps of the chain. Okay, and again, the first 2 chains that we skipped count as the first half double crochet. Okay, so now I'm gonna place 1 half double crochet into each chain across. So at the end, after I work across this chain, we should have extra 16 half double crochets on this side. Okay, so let's go ahead and work across, and here we go. So this is my 16 half double crochet stitches on this side extended, and now what we need to do is continue across the main row. So I'm gonna just go with 1 half double crochet into each stitch and each 1 chain space, like we have done in the established stitch pattern. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work across the main row, and I will meet you back. Okay, so this is where we are, just joined it on. So I'm going to work across the row as usual in the half double crochet stitch, and then I'll meet you back here at the end where we're going to again extend by 16 half double crochets on the other side. I have now worked all the way across the main row, and as you can see, I worked the last half double crochet into the top of the standing double crochet from previous row. And now what we need to do is mirror the first side and create 16 extra half double crochet stitches, but on this side. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to use the foundation half double crochets. Okay, so we're going to yarn over, and I'm going to insert my hook into the same space where I worked the last stitch. Okay, so into the top of that standing double crochet again, I'm going to yarn over and pull through. Okay, and I've got 3 loops on a hook, and because we're working the foundation half double crochet, I'm going to yarn over, pull through 1 like this, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on my hook, and I've got extra half double crochet there. And then we're gonna again yarn over, and I'm gonna insert my hook into those bottom 2 loops of that chain 1 through we did, yarn over, pull through like this, and again I've got 3 loops on my hook, so yarn over, pull through 1. Okay, and this pull through 1 is the loop that we're going to work back into. Okay, so if I show you now at the bottom, that's the 2 loops of that chain 1. and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on a hook. And as you can see, I anchored that loop with my thumb, so this is the loop we're going to be working back through. Okay, so yarn over, and again, if you look on the bottom, it's through those 2 loops of that chain through, like this, yarn over, pull through. Okay, and again, yarn over, pull through 1. And now when you look, it's that pull through 1 that creates those 2 loops we're going to be working into. Okay, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, again, yarn over through the 2 loops at the bottom, yarn over, pull through. So it's like basically creating the chain at the bottom and half double crochets at the top. So again, yarn over, pull through 1, and get the visual on this pull through 1. Okay, that's the one we're going to be inserting through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3, and again yarn over through the chain at the bottom. Oh, this is a bit stubborn. There we go. Yarn over, pull through, and again yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 3. Okay, so this is the foundation half double crochet where you work in the chain, the foundation chain, and the stitch all at the same time. So work up 16 foundation half double crochets, or however many you are extending by for the sleeves. Okay, so here we are. That's my foundation half double crochets here. So I'm going to work up 16, so I mirror the other side. Okay, so I'll have 16 there and 16 on this other side. I've now extended by 16 half double crochet stitches on both sides of my work. So now we're gonna turn, okay, and we're gonna continue in the established pattern as we have done. So you're just going to be working across some extra stitches. Okay, so let's walk you through the beginning. So again, we're going to start so we're now going to work the shell and the V-stitch row. So I'm going to start with standing double crochet into the first stitch. Okay, and again I'm gonna skip the next stitch and work a V-stitch into the next one. Like this, and again skip 3 stitches and work a shell into the next one, like this, and again skip 3 stitches and work a V-stitch, skip 3 stitches, work a shell, and again skip 3 stitches and work a V-stitch, and again skip 3 stitches and work a shell. And as you can see, I have already worked across the extended sleeve. It of course depends what length you extend it to. And if I just quickly show you, we are back working across the main row now. And as you can see, our V-stitches and the shell stitches have nicely lined up across the main body. So what I'm going to do now is work all the way across the row, okay, alternating the shell and the V-stitch. Work all the way across the row, including these 16 extended stitches. And I'll meet you back here towards the end, and I'm just going to walk you through the end. Here I have gone across the other extended sleeve, and now all that's left to do is work the last V-stitch. And I just wanted to quickly remind you that for this side, the last double crochet is going to be worked into the top of the beginning 2 chains. I'm going to skip the next stitch and work the double crochet into the top of that beginning to chain there. Okay, so that's where we place the last double crochet, and from now on is just basically keeping up with the pattern, working in the established pattern, but you're now going to be working all the way across the row, including these extended sleeves. And for the back panel, I've already done my back panel, but for you guys, for the back panel, just continue with this extended row and look up how many pattern repeats you need for your chosen size. If you are going to adjust the height of the sleeves, okay, or the size of your armhole opening here, you could then repeat the 2-row repeat for as many times as you need to, and end with a row of half double crochet stitches. Okay, so that's the last row. So for the back panel, just continue straight working across in the established pattern for as many rows as you need to. And for the front panel then, so I did 17 rows in total, the extended rows. So from the very first half double crochet row here, I've done 17 rows for the depth of my armhole, or for the size of the sleeve. Okay, so for the back panel, these are just straightforward 17 rows. If you are following the written pattern, then for the front panel, repeat the full row for as many times as your size calls for. If you are going to adjust the amount of rows that you do, make sure that for the front panel, you stop 4 rows before the end. So I did 17 rows on my back panel. So my front panel, I'm now going to repeat 13 rows, and I will meet you back then, and I'm going to show you how we're going to finish off the neckline for the front panel, so we can accommodate for the neck opening. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this 2-row repeat until I have 13 rows in total, and then I'll meet you back. And here we are. I have worked up 13 rows because my back panel's got 17 rows, so I worked up full rows times 13, which is 4 rows less, because now I'm going to split this row and leave the middle part unworked, which means that will create a neckline opening. Okay, so let's go ahead and carry on with the pattern. So for my next row, I'm going to work in the established pattern as we have been, but we're going to stop sooner, and then we're gonna turn our work and leave the remaining stitches unworked. Okay, so for this part, you will have to refer to the written pattern to see how many pattern repeats you need to do. In my case, for my size, I'm gonna repeat the stitch pattern 5 times, and then I'm going to stop and turn my work. So that's exactly what I'm doing for now, just repeating the stitch pattern, and I'll meet you back at the end of the row. So as you can see, here I have worked 5 stitch pattern repeats, and what we're going to do now is miss or skip the next 3 stitches, and instead of a V-stitch, I'm just going to place 1 double crochet into the next stitch like this. Okay, and what we're going to do now is turn our work and leave all these remaining stitches unworked, because we're only going to be working across the shoulders for now. So now I'm going to chain 1 and work 1/2 double crochet into each stitch, and each 1 chain space across, like we have done in the established pattern. So just 1/2 double crochet all the way across the row, and again I'll meet you back for row 3 of the first shoulder and show you how we're going to get across the row. So this is where we are at the moment after working a couple of those shorter rows. So once again, I'm going to turn my work, okay, and we are going to start working again in the established pattern as we have been working for the entire t-shirt pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and start as usual by standing double crochet, and then we've got the V-stitch, skip 3 stitches, and then work a shell. And I'll meet you back at the end of this row again, where we're going to finish off the row and turn our work over again to start creating this neckline. Here we are at the end of that row, and I worked in the established pattern until I've got 3 stitches left at the very end. So after working the last shell, I'm going to skip 2 and work 1 double crochet into the very last stitch like this. So you can see we are kind of creating one side of the shoulder. And now again, I'm going to turn my work and as usual, just work 1/2 double crochet into each stitch and each 1 chain space across. And once I have done that, I will be able to fasten off this side, because we are now at full, we're going to be at full 17 rows of the sleeve, which matches the amount of rows that we did on our back panel. Okay, so make sure you've got the same amount of rows from when we extended for the sleeve on both front and back panels. So as I said, I'm going to finish off this row by just working 1/2 double crochet into each stitch and each 1 chain space across. And once I have gone across the row, I will fasten off, and that will be this side of our work done. And then I'm going to show you how to replicate these 4 rows on the other side. Now we have finished this side of the shoulder and the neckline. We're going to move on to the other side, and we're going to do exactly the same. So I've got the front panel facing me, so this is the right side facing me. And as you can see, we have started from this side and worked this row across to here, and then we stopped and turned and worked back and forth across the shorter row. So what we now need to do is have this row that we're splitting, we need to have those stitches facing us, because this is the right side. Okay, so next step will be to count from the last double crochet of the row on this side of the shoulder, and you'll need to refer to the written pattern, but for me, for my size, I needed to count 31 stitches across this last full row from the last double crochet. So we won't count that one, but we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on and so on. So I counted the 31 stitches as stated in a written pattern, and these stitches will remain unworked for now, because this is exactly where our neck opening is going to be. And now, as you can see, I popped my hook into the next stitch, so we missed or skipped these 31 stitches here in the middle, and I'm going to rejoin my yarn into this next stitch where my hook has been placed, okay, like this. So I'm going to join my yarn in this stitch. And you might have guessed correctly that now we're going to work across this shorter row on the other side again. So to start the row on the other shoulder, I'm going to start with standing double crochet, okay, into that stitch like this. So we're basically replicating this row. So we finished on the double crochet there, skipped these stitches. So I'm going to start with a standing double crochet, then I'm going to skip the next 3 stitches, and I'm going to work a shell stitch into the next one in keeping with the established pattern. Okay, so that's a shell stitch in the next, and then again I'm gonna skip 3 stitches and work a V-stitch in next. Okay, and as you can see, we have basically mirrored this other side. Okay, so we've got the double crochet and double crochet on this side. Then we've got the shell stitch next, then the V-stitch next, and so on and so on. So now all that's left to do is work to the end of this row. Then I'm gonna turn at the end and work half double crochet into each stitch all the way across, and then I'm going to repeat this row again. So let's go ahead and work up these next 2 rows, and I will meet you back after. Here we are after I worked up a couple of rows on the other side of the neckline, and all that's left to do is repeat these last 2 rows one more time. So to start row 3 on the other side of your neckline, we've got the stand-in double crochet there. Then I'm going to skip 2 stitches as we did on the other side, so skip 2 stitches, and into the next stitch I'm going to place the shell, so 5 double crochet into that next stitch, and then we're back to the pattern where we skip 3 stitches and work V-stitch into the next one, and again skip 3 stitches and the shell into the next one. Okay, so the only little bit of difference is that at the beginning we skip 2 stitches instead of the 3, just to make sure that our stitch count works out. Okay, and now it's time to just finish off. So I'm gonna work for the rest of the row and then turn my work and just work half double crochet back, and then I will leave my yarn attached because we're gonna use the yarn to attach the front panel to the back panel, and then we'll attach the other shoulder as well. And here we are with the other shoulder finished. As I said, I'm going to leave my yarn attached because now it's time to attach the front panel to the back panel. So I've got the back panel already here underneath, and what I have done here with my stitch marker is, because our shoulder panel on the front has got 42 half double crochet stitches, or the amount for your chosen size. Okay, so I've got 42 stitches on the last row here. So what I have done here is actually counted 42 stitches on the back panel and marked my stitch number 42 here with the stitch marker. So all I've got to do now is line up the front panel with the back panel, and you can see I've got the neck opening just there, and there is my sleeve. Okay, so I'm going to be now working across the shoulder panel here, and I'm going to now crochet the 2 panels together stitch by stitch. So this is a really easy seam because we're going to be working stitch to stitch. So I've got 42 stitches on the front panel and 42 stitches on the back panel. Okay, and for my seam I'm going to be using the flat slip stitch join. Okay, so I'm going to insert my hook from the back of the stitch on the back panel here. This is just to pull my loop through. And for the flat slip stitch join, which creates a nice join, we're going to be working through the back loops only of the stitches. So I'm going to insert through the back loop of the first 2 stitches, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so let me get you a bit closer here. There we go. So I've got the back panel here, and I'm going to insert my hook through the closer loop of the 2, okay, closer to the middle, and closer loop on the front panel here, yarn over and pull through all loops on your hook. Okay, so I'm only attaching through 1 loop of the stitch, and it's the 2 loops that are closer to each other. So if I have the 2 stitches lined up together like this at the top of the seam, it's gonna be this loop of the back panel and this loop of the front panel. Okay, so the 2 loops that are close to each other in the middle. Okay, so you're just gonna repeat this all the way across your shoulder seam, and it should be pretty easy because we've got equal amount of stitches all the way across, okay? So through the loops close to each other, and just slip stitch through, okay? So into the back, front, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, okay? So we're kind of braiding it together and attaching the shoulder seam like this. And I like to kind of crochet the shoulder seams together, because I find that it creates a much stronger seam that then sits nicely on your shoulders and gives your crochet makes that extra bit of support, because on your shoulder seams it's pretty much where the weight of your garment comes under the most stress and stretch, okay? So let me just show you a little bit of the seaming that we have done already, okay? So we've got this nice flat join on our shoulder seams. It's quite decorative as well, and it's really secure, really nice, and it doesn't stretch a lot this way, which is great because you don't want your shoulders then to be sagging kind of halfway down to your elbow, okay? So I'm gonna continue across the first shoulder seam, and then all we've got to do is rejoin yarn on the other side, okay? You could easily just start from this edge and work stitch to stitch until you get to the end here. The only reason I obviously started from the neckline towards the sleeve is because my yarn was attached on that side. But by all means, if you found that a little bit tricky, you could just fasten off when you finish the front panel and then start from the edge and work 42 stitches in this way, and then start from the other edge and work 42 stitches on the other side. And once we've done that, we will have our top of the t-shirt finished, and I'm going to show you how to just quickly finish off this neckline opening just to tidy it up a little bit. And all that's left to do after that is attach your t-shirt on the side seam. And for the side seams, I suggest using the mattress stitch, because we are kind of attaching the sides of the stitches together. I like to use the mattress stitch for those, okay? So when I've got tops of stitches, I use crochet to attach together. If it's the sides, like a side of the side end stitches to attach them together, I like to use the mattress stitch, okay? So let's go ahead and finish our shoulder seams on the t-shirt, and I'll meet you back when we're gonna tackle the neckline. Here I just quickly wanted to show you a close-up of the shoulder seam, okay? So that's the 2 shoulders securely attached, and as you can see, it has got a little bit of stretch, that seam, but it's really strong and really great for the shoulder seams. The slip stitches just hold the shape because of the bamboo in this yarn. It could be it's very drapey, and it could be almost too drapey in places where you want your garment to hold the structure, okay? So these slip stitches, or the flat join slip stitch, is gonna kind of help with that. So that's the close-up of the shoulder seam, and as I said, I'm gonna attach my garment at the shoulders on the other side, and we're gonna tackle the neckline. And here is my t-shirt with the shoulder seams all finished and attached, and now we're gonna just finish off this neckline. Now I quickly popped it on just across my shoulders, and I really like the way this neckline sits and feels. It's not too close to my neck, so I'm gonna keep the neckline really super simple, and I'm just gonna go round the neckline opening with single crochet stitches. The only reason is I could leave it as it is like this because it looks really nice on. It's not too close to my neck, and I prefer that for summer tops. But the only reason I'm gonna just go round with 1 round of single crochet is because these half double crochet stitches, they are a little bit stretchy, and what I feel especially in combination with this bamboo yarn, that it's gonna just stretch out of proportion a little bit too much. It's gonna keep stretching and it's gonna look a little bit messy. The more I wear it, it's gonna look messier and messier. So what I'm gonna do is just attach my yarn in the first stitch in the corner of the front panel of the neckline opening like this. And we're just gonna pull the half double crochet stitches a little bit closer with single crochet, okay? So just one single crochet into each stitch across. There's no need to do it like any tighter or change hook sizes or anything like that. I just feel that the single crochet stitches are gonna stop those half double crochets from stretching out of proportion a little bit too much. So I'm going to go across the front panel, just one single crochet in each stitch. You can see I worked across the front panel opening of the neckline, and now we're going to work up the side of these stitches, working around the end stitches. And you can already see that the neckline just looks that tiny bit neater, and it's got a little bit more structure. So now I've got these 4 rows that we created, the shorter rows for the shoulders, okay? So we've got double crochet, half double, double crochet and half double. Now to get across these stitches, I'm going to be working around the body of those stitches. And what we're going to do is work 3 single crochet around the double crochet and 2 single crochet around the half double crochet, okay? So let's go ahead and work around the first double crochet, and I'm going to work 3 single crochet around the body of the end stitch like this, okay? Then we've got the half double crochet there on the end, so I'm going to place 2 single crochet around that half double. Then that brings us on to the next double crochet. So again, we're going to work 3 single crochet. And the last row is there, and it's the half double crochet. So again, we're going to work 2 single crochet around the half double crochet. So this is the stitches across the end stitches, and that brings us onto the back panel. So I'm just going to flip my work like this and continue around the back panel stitches here. So again, that's just 1 single crochet into each stitch on the back panel. And once we work across the back panel, it's then going to be exactly the same process on the end stitches on the other side as we just did for the first side. So I'm gonna work across, and that will again bring me back onto the end stitches of the other side of the neckline on the other shoulder, and we're going to start with 2 single crochet around that first half double crochet, then 3 single crochet around the double, 2 around the half double and another 3 around the double, and then we're going to simply slip stitch into the first single crochet we started with. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work up the neckline, just go 1 single crochet across, and I will meet you back after I finish off round 1 of the neckline. And here we are at the end of the round of single crochet stitches to just tidy up the neckline. So as you can see, it just gives it a little bit more structure and a little bit more support, and it doesn't look like it's gonna kind of look messy when it stretches out a little bit. Okay, now the next step is completely optional. If you wanted to add a little bit of kind of decorative edge to your neckline, I personally gonna keep my plain like this because I really like the look of it when you pop it on, but you could just do a round of the reverse single crochet or crab stitch. I actually work mine forward, so if I just quickly show you, it's insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and now all I do is kind of spin my hook around, yarn over and pull through. Okay, so insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, then spin your hook around, yarn over and pull through. Okay, and this will produce exactly the same results. Next step I'm gonna do is just attach the sides of our t-shirt. So if we just go down to here, what we need to do is start with attaching the underside of our sleeve. So it's just those 16 stitches down here. So I'm going to attach those, and then I'm going to carry on down the side of that lacy t-shirt all the way down to the end. And for this side seam, as I said, I'm going to use mattress stitch because we are attaching kind of side to side. And with the mattress stitch, you can attach it, make sure you attach it row to row. Okay, so a row of half double to half double, and then the end double crochet stitches together, and then again, so it's nice and neat, and your pattern will nicely line up on the sides as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach the sides with mattress stitch, and then our t-shirt will be finished. So here we go. This is my sleeve. So I attach the underside of the sleeve using the flat slip stitch methods that we used for the shoulders. And when I fastened off, as you can see, I left myself quite a little bit of tail end, and I popped it onto the needle. So for the mattress stitch, we're going to be attaching, as I said, row to row, so you kind of don't run out of fabric on either side. So I'm going to line up the two end double crochets of these two rows. Going to be doing this a little bit awkwardly. So here we go. I've got the double crochet and the double crochet, so I'm going to go in from one side, out the other on this side, and through double crochet on this side. We're going to go from in, out like this, and again through the top of the double crochet on that side, and through the top of the double crochet on the other side. Then we're going to line up the next two half double crochet rows. Okay, so that's my half double crochet there and half double crochet there. So again, in, out on this side, and from in, out on the other side. Okay, and once you do a few stitches like this, it kind of looks like shoelaces. Okay, then we're gonna pull the seam closed like this. Okay, so grab the end of the yarn and just slowly pull on it like this until your stitches disappear. Okay, and basically this is the mattress stitch, and we're gonna be using it all the way down the side. And as I said, so attach the next two double crochets, then the half doubles, then the doubles again, then the half doubles, and so on and so on. So when you then look down the side, your seam will be virtually kind of invisible because the mattress stitch will just line the fabric up side to side. It's a really nice flat join there, and you won't have don't make it mismatched. As I said, attach it row by row all the way down the side towards the end, towards the bottom, and then I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side seam. So go ahead and attach your sides using a mattress stitch, and then after we sort out the ends and block it, our lace t-shirt will be finished. And here it is, our ruby lace t-shirt is all finished. I have sewn all ends in, attached all the seams. finished off the neckline, and now our Ruby t-shirt is ready to wear. I hope you enjoyed today's video tutorial, and I can't wait to see your versions of this amazing crochet t-shirt. So don't forget to share them with me on social media. I'm Blue Star Crochet across pretty much all the channels. And if you enjoyed the video tutorial and you found it helpful, leave a comment below. I would love to see all your comments and know what you guys think. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn the notifications on so you get notified every time I upload a brand new tutorial or another video. So once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.